Today we're going to take some quick notes on one-step equations. All right, so what we want to do is go ahead and fill in our blanks here, and I'll help you out. Solving one-step equations with variables on one side using inverse operations. Inverse means the opposite operation. So step one is going to be to copy the equation if you don't have enough space to do your work. Identify the side that does not have the variable, and you enter that number in the calculator. Look at the other side. Do the inverse of the operation to both sides. Do the inverse of the operation to both sides. So the opposite of add is subtract. The opposite of subtract is add. The opposite of divide is multiply, and the opposite of multiply is divide. One side leaves the variable, no math to do. The other side will have the answer, which is calculated. And finally, you want to check and go back. You want to substitute and evaluate to see if your answer is correct. So let's go ahead and do an example. Now what we're going to do is, you may be looking at these problems and you say, these are very simple, we don't have to do any real math to this, but what we want to do is we want to be able to do the math now and to practice on problems like this now, so when we get to more difficult problems, we can answer them. So the first thing we're going to do is, what I want you to do is I want you to draw a line on our equal sign. We always want to think of an equation as a balance, okay? Whatever we're doing to one side of our equation, we're doing to the other. Now, we've identified our variable n, okay? Variables always want to be on the side by themselves, so we need to get rid of any other numbers that are on the same side as it. So basically what I'm going to try and do is I need to get rid of plus 4. And just like when we're doing zero pairs, in order to get rid of that plus 4, I'm going to subtract 4. That makes that go away. But because I did subtract 4 on this side, I've got to subtract 4 on this side as well. And I'm going to go ahead and draw a line. And now I have 21 minus 4, and I get 17. Now, my 4's canceled out. Now I have to bring that n down. So I know n is going to equal 17. Now what I need to do with this problem is substitute and check. So I'm going to put in 17. I said n equals 17. That's what I just said. So I'm going to substitute 17 in for n and say plus 4. 17 plus 4, I'm double checking on my calculator, is 21. Since that 21 equals that means I solved it correctly and got the right answer for n. Moving on. 52 equals x minus 8. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to draw my line. I need to do the opposite of minus 8, which is plus 8. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. I draw my line. These 8's cancel each other out. 52 plus 8, I get 60. 60 is going to equal, and the only thing left on this side is going to be x. I'm solving for a variable. I'm not just doing math for math's sake. I'm not just adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing. What I'm actually trying to do is I'm trying to solve and find out what that variable equals. So we always want to leave our answer as a number equals the variable, or the variable equals a number. So now what I want to do is I want to substitute my value in. I said x equals 60, so I'm going to say 60 minus 8, double check that number on my calculator, and I get 52. And sure enough, that's correct. Now I have 4x equals 26. Now remember, side by side, when I have a number and a variable side by side, that means multiply. So I have to do the inverse operation of multiply by 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And remember, if I have 1 times x, that's my identity property of multiplication, that's just going to be x, okay? So here I divide 26 by 4. Those guys kind of cancel each other out. That's the map that I'm showing there. And I'm showing if I divide by 4 on the left side, I have to divide by 4 on the right side. So all I'm left with on this side is x. That was my math I did up there. I'm left with x on this side. That x just came straight down. The 4 is canceled. Now on my calculator, I do 26 divided by 4, and I get 6.5. Okay, so I said x equals 6.5. So now I need to substitute that in here. 4 times 6.5. And using my calculator, 4 times 6.5, I get 26. Sure enough, that answer works. Okay, finally, I have 4 equals x divided by 3. All right, remember we were talking about the multiplicative inverse, and we were talking the inverse property of multiplication. This is why we use the inverse property of multiplication for a problem just like this, okay? Quick explanation, x over 3 is the same as saying x times 1/3. Now remember we said in order to get this to equal 1, I have to multiply 1/3 by its reciprocal of 3 over 1, or times 3. Okay, that's how, remember, these guys cancel out, and that just becomes 1. So that's why that inverse property of multiplication is so important to us to be able to do this. So when I say I want to multiply this side by 3, and I want to multiply this side by 3, okay, those guys cancel each other out. That just becomes 1. Again, identity property of multiplication says 1 times x is just going to be x. There's my line. 3 times 4 is 12. So I'm saying 12 equals x. So now I can say 4 equals, let me take that back, I'm sorry. I'm going to say 12 divided by 3. You might be seeing that as a fraction. I see it as a division problem. 12 divided by 3, that equals 4. And sure enough, our answer works out. Thank you.